Hey YouTube, it's Arwen of Tarot by Arwen, and today I'm going to be doing a requested review on the Ceccoli Tarot. Here's the box. It's just a flimsy box. It's Lo Scarabeo's, and they here in the U.S. they distribute through Llewellyn, and Llewellyn kindly sent me a deck, so I'm very pleased for that. I have pulled out some cards, a few of the majors, then we'll look at the aces, then we'll look at some of the one from each suit, and then the court cards of one deck. The little white book is just that, a little white book. It's in several languages: English, Italian, Spanish, French, and German. It is very, very succinct. And it's very typical of what you expect of tarot. Like for the moon, there are many mysteries in the depths of the unconscious. Pay attention to your dreams and the realms of your imagination. Key concepts: dreams, the nocturnal world, mysticism. And if you want to learn a different language, you can read it in Spanish or German or Italian or French. So nothing woohoo about the little white book. The artwork is very intriguing. It's done in a child's world, as far as I can tell. There's not a lot in the book to tell me about the concept of the artist. Just that it offers layer upon layer of moods and symbology, innocence and malevolence, humor, sensuality, and above all, imagination. So this is very much a dream world. She says fish can fly, food can talk, toys come alive. This is the dreamlike world you'll find in the art of Ceccoli. So let's take a look, and I'll be doing scans. So here's your first one. This is the Fool. What I like about this Fool is the wheels. Can't really control the direction, just has to go which way the wheels go. There's no turning in this thing. I'm not as fond of this as a Fool because it really doesn't, for me, get the taking a risk, leaping forward, opportunity, rash behavior. And I think that's because the wheels don't turn. So once somebody gives this thing a push, it's just done. So that's kind of my feeling on that. The Magician is a very pretty little card. Little girl with her mask. But look, she's also got a tail. Now, is the tail really hers, or is it part of the costume? That's our question. As a Magician card, this one requires a lot of work for me. I wouldn't immediately know it's the Magician, and part of that's because I don't see the tools. As a tarot reader, I want some cards to have some pretty traditional stuff going on, even in a background sense. I want to be able to see coins, cups, wands, and swords in this card, and I don't see that. I see a little leopard girl. It's a beautiful card, though. The artwork is really, really pretty. The Empress, I really like the Empress. Again, a little girl. And she's examining nature. Do you see that? She's really looking at things. She's looking at a little dragonfly through a magnifying glass. She has a very gentle look about her. She has the crown for the Empress. I can see this as an Empress because it's got that nature connection. It doesn't have the fertility creative theme that I tend to associate with my Empresses, so I'd have to kind of adjust my thought pattern on this. And then we're going to move up a little bit to the Hermit. The Hermit for me is very, very nice. What I like about our Hermit is the snail and the little snail. They both have lights. They're both following each other. There is a sense of illuminating the path for someone else and illuminating the path for yourself. And that for me is part of the Hermit's theme. I really like the echoing of the red and white and the shells, and that their eyes are closed. I think that's a very interesting touch to this card. Oh, and the backs. No, yes, they are reversible. Sorry, I was going to say not reversible, but they definitely are reversible. And then we're going to look at death. Death is interesting. You'll, most of you, I think, will immediately know what this is about. Girl, black hair, fair skin, 7 dwarves. Anybody whistling, hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to work. So it's Snow White. It's an interesting death card. There's the apple. I'm not getting a sense of transition. I mean, I know that this is Snow White's transition period from being the maiden in the forest to becoming, you know, found by the prince. But again, it doesn't work so well for me as a death card. I think I'd have to work with this deck a little bit more. I'm not getting an instant connection with it. And so that's interesting for me when that happens. Generally, that means it's going to be an art deck. Nothing wrong with an art deck. That means I like the art in it. I may not be able to read with it professionally. And then we're going to look at the star. And she's got a beautiful star crown. She's obviously up in the heavens. She's got planets around her. And little cherubs kind of attached to her somehow. Yeah. And it's a nice star. It's not, you know, it's a star. It's reaching. It's looking up. Now here's the sun. For me, this sun misses. And what it misses is it's not bright enough. There's not enough sun. And I mean, we've got daisies, we've got bees. She's a honeycomb herself. I'm not getting sun from this. I'm not getting happy and health and home. So that's another miss for me in this pretty little deck. Overall, the Major Arcana had a lot of misses for me, and it's the symbology. Yeah, and I like tarot decks that kind of force me out of my norm. So I think that I'll have to work with this a little bit more to see if I can really key into it. Right now, it doesn't feel like I can. So I'll just have to wait on that. Let's take a look at the aces. Here's our Ace of Swords. Our little lollipop girl. Now she's a little messy. And look at the lollipop's actually alive. So that's a little gruesome, a little macabre. You know, I'm not sure how to read that Ace of Swords, y'all. It's generally beginning of thought, you know, initiative. Not sure how biting into a live lollipop is initiative. But again, this deck may not be a reading deck for me. And here is the Ace of Wands. She's actually the cover card. Hugging her salamander. And I like this Ace of Wands. I like that she's nude. And yeah, some people will find this icky because she seems to be a child, nudity and all those things around it. But this is the style of the artist. and she's covered. I mean, there's nothing showing, but hugging her lizard, her salamander to herself, I really get a sense of starting in fire and some passion, some beginning of passion there. The Ace of Cups. Now again, I don't get Ace of Cups from this. There's too many dolls in it. They all look like her. They're all dressed like her. I'm not sure how this is an ace. The Ace of Cups should give me a feeling of beginning of emotion, beginning of wanting to connect to somebody in that way. So again, it kind of misses for me. Let's take a look at the Ace of Coins. Birds on her head, the round body. And, oh, she's an egg. She's an egg. That's a nice coin. That's a nice Ace of Coin. There's a little bird coming out of the opening there, so I like that. Sorry about the cat moving the camera, y'all. So of the aces, 2 of them hit, 2 of them don't for me. And again, it's all opinion. Now let's take a look at the 4 cards I chose from the, blah, 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 where are they? From the 4 suits. From batons, excuse me, from swords, we get the 2 of swords, an excellent 2 of swords for me. The 2 buildings of the 2 swords, they're the 2 ideas. She's balancing on a tightrope. Let's take a scan. So that works really well for me. The 6 of rods. For me, the 6 of rods is a little off, and here's why. I thought it was the 6 of swords because I thought they were going off and being taken away from troubled times. But this is actually the 6 of rods, which is the card of the winner, the card of the race winner. So we do have the speed thing going on in there, but I'm not sure because of the color of the background. So that's kind of a miss for me. Into our cups, our 4 of cups, which is our card of loss and loneliness. And perfect. Right, all the shells outside, the little fish bird outside, and she's locked up in a little cave, a little snow globe, basically. So this works really well for me on the cups. And the 10 of coins, a happily ever after card, making it, being successful. She's leaping off the merry-go-round. That works. You know, that's got a real hit for me. I really like it. Let's look at the court cards of the coin suit or the pentacle suit. Now she does something interesting. I'm going to try to show you this. She doesn't tell you what the card is. She just shows you a symbol at the bottom of each. And so you have to learn those symbols to learn what they are. So let's get here and do this. And the first one is the page. And the page of coins is a ballerina growing up out of a plant. And she is, the pages are the helmets. Butterflies all flying around for the coins. She's poised, she's ready, she's worked for her craft, so she's a prima ballerina here. I can see this is a page, the ballerina beginning. And then we move to the knight. The knight is also interesting. We do have the horse for the knight, and she's riding a stuffed toy. Of course, it's a live stuffed toy. And I like that she's riding. That's a good one. All 4 feet are on the ground, which is nice because the coin knight is the slowest knight of the knights. And generally, if you look at the horses and you know horse posture, in terms of statues, you'll see different feet position on each suit's knight. And that kind of gives you an extra layer there. And our little queen of coins, like the ace, she's eating something, like the ace of wands. She's eating alive something. She's got a crown. There's a queen's crown. I think this is the queen. This may be the king, y'all. Sorry. No, I believe this is the king. Yeah, it's got a bigger crown. And look at that king of coins. And again, it's a female king of coins, which is okay. Releasing the bull. Releasing the energy. That's kind of a nice king. So overall, this deck is in between for me. It's not a deck I think that I would read with publicly. That to me is important for a deck that I'm going to use. I need one to be usable. Even as an art deck, it does give me pause at times, and some of it's the actual art itself. I'm not a real fan of big-eyed waif-looking children, so that could be part of it also. I think it's a deck I'll need to work with a little bit more. There are people out there who adore this deck. It's been such a good seller for Llewellyn. They're coming out with a mini version of this. So it's definitely one that other people love, and it's definitely one that's out there and being gobbled up by people. So take a look at it. See if it's a deck you love. And if it is, grab yourself a copy. It's the Ceccoli Tarot. And there's our little Ace of Wands, right? So thank you very much for joining me for this review. I'm Arwen of Tarot by Arwen, and I want to remind you, seek joy, y'all. Pass it on.